It always starts the same way. We don't have time for the full orientation, just follow what the other guys are doing. Or the classic, you'll figure it out as you go. And sometimes nothing goes wrong, not at first. But then something does. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking on a topic that every supervisor, foreman, and business owner needs to take seriously. The very real consequences of skipping or rushing through safety training. Because what you don't teach could hurt someone. Too often we assume people know, and well, they don't. We've all said it before, it's just common sense. But the truth is, what's common sense to one person might not be to someone else. And when you assume, all you really do is make an ass out of yourself. Not me. In 2021, a 19-year-old new hire on a construction site in British Columbia was told to help unload steel beams. He'd only been on the job for less than 72 hours, no rigging training, no load securement briefing. No one told him what to do if something shifted. The load came loose. A steel beam fell. It crushed his foot. The injuries were so severe he lost multiple toes and needed 2 surgeries. He never returned to physical work. The investigation revealed there was no documented training, no safety briefing. The foreman said he was just helping out. That single injury cost the company nearly $300,000 in fines, legal costs, and compensation. The mistake? No safety orientation or training, no competency check. The prevention? Every new worker must go through site-specific training. Orientation is not optional. If they can't demonstrate understanding, they can't be in the hazard zone. This isn't an isolated case. In fact, the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety reports that 30% of workplace injuries in Canada occur within the first month of employment. That number rises dramatically when training is undocumented or inconsistent. Alright, let's head to a manufacturing plant in the US. A temp worker was brought in during peak production season. He was told to operate a powered conveyor. He said he'd never used one before. He tried to adjust a jam by hand, without shutting it off. The machine caught his glove and pulled in his hand. The damage was irreversible. The mistake? No lockout training. No mechanical hazard awareness. According to a report by the National Safety Council, nearly 40% of workplace injuries involving temps happen within the first 30 days on the job. The reason? Inadequate training. The prevention? Training must be given, regardless of employment status. Temps, interns, subcontractors, if they're exposed, they need to be educated and protected. Now let's go overseas to a logistics warehouse in Germany. A new team of seasonal workers was brought in for holiday rush packing. One young worker had never used a pallet jack before. He was told to move a loaded pallet. He didn't know how to steer on an incline. The load tipped. It struck another worker in the leg, fracturing it. The mistake, assuming everyone knows. The prevention, visual training, language accessible guides, and actual demonstration, not just pointing. The problem isn't ignorance of the workers, it's an assumption by the people directing the work. According to the European Agency for Safety and Health at Work, workers in short-term, seasonal, or precarious employment have a significantly higher injury rate across all sectors. Let's look at healthcare. A junior nurse on her second shift in a public hospital in South Africa was asked to assist with moving a bariatric patient. No one showed her the proper technique, no lift device, no second helper. She tried anyway. She ruptured a disc in her back. Workplace musculoskeletal injuries cost the healthcare system billions each year. The World Health Organization estimates that 37% of nurses globally suffer from back pain related to poor lifting practices. And these injuries don't just end careers, they end independence. The mistake? Not training on ergonomics. The prevention? Safe patient handling must be a day-one priority. Teaching people how to protect themselves isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. In one of the most chilling examples, a teenager working part-time at a fast food restaurant in the US was asked to clean a deep fryer. It was still plugged in. No one showed him the disconnect switch. He accidentally turned it on while cleaning. His hands were submerged in hot oil. The burns were severe. The scarring was permanent. The mistake? No hazard identification. No equipment isolation training. According to youth employment safety advocates, workers under 25 are twice as likely to be injured on the job, especially in roles with poor onboarding. And it's not just in North America. In countries like the Philippines and India, underage or first-time workers often enter service jobs with zero formal safety exposure. The prevention? Train young workers like they've never seen the equipment before, because most haven't. And telling someone to just be careful is not training. Now picture this. An experienced truck driver from another country is hired for deliveries. He passes a road test, but no one trains him on the warehouse's blind spots or reversing procedures. 3 weeks later, he strikes a pedestrian in the loading bay. The injuries are life-altering. The mistake? Assuming experience equals local knowledge, the prevention? Training must include site-specific hazards, even for experienced workers. A 20-year veteran still needs to learn the new terrain. Language, signage, driving customs, and even weather patterns affect driver risk. The International Road Assessment Program, or IRAP, notes that logistics companies with standardized safety training see 50% fewer on-site transport incidents. Now the final story. A small electrical contractor in the UK rushed a crew onto a residential job. One apprentice said he hadn't been trained on panel shutoffs. He was told to watch and learn. He made contact with a live wire. The shock threw him back. He lived, but with burns, nerve damage, and PTSD. The mistake? Throwing a worker into the field without verification. The prevention, training, verification, mentorship. Apprenticeship doesn't mean sink or swim, it means learn until you're ready. Worldwide, electrical incidents remain one of the top 5 causes of fatal occupational injuries. The International Labor Organization has called for more widespread enforcement of apprentice verification standards, especially in fast-paced industries like construction. So, what happens when you skip safety training? People get hurt, lives are changed, companies pay the price, and sometimes they don't get another chance. Training is the foundation. It's what turns procedures into instinct. It's what helps new hires speak up when something feels wrong. It's what prevents a quick task from becoming a life sentence. Globally, over 2.78 million workers die from occupational incidents and diseases every year, according to the ILO. And yeah, an overwhelming number of these incidents involve preventable root causes, training being at the top of the list. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to see it, especially if you're onboarding a new team. Drop your story in the comments. Real voices matter. And if you've ever been thrown into the deep end without safety training, you're not alone. Until next time, train hard, speak up, and work safely.